Pakistan has a national tradition. No, it's not cricket or India bashing, it's not even military coups. It's finding a new country to ask for money. Every few years, the address changes. First the IMF, then China, then Saudi, then UAE, and now it's Donald Trump. Yes, Pakistan has reportedly approached the Trump administration for a $10 billion financial backstop. Because apparently, whenever Pakistan's economy catches a cold, someone else is expected to pay the hospital bill, and this time it's Trump. The question is, how does a country with nuclear weapons, a 250 million strong population, and enormous strategic importance, in their own words, keep returning to the world with a begging bowl? And why does every bailout save Pakistan temporarily but never fixes Pakistan? Pakistan has reportedly asked the United States now for a $10 billion exchange stabilisation facility. Big term, but I'll just tell you what they mean by it. It's not an investment, it's not a trade deal, it's not even a technology. It's simply what they want is a financial cushion, $10 billion financial cushion to stop the rupee from sliding and reassure markets. Reports say that the proposal has reached the US Treasury. Washington hasn't committed, but the pitch itself tells a story. Pakistan's argument is very simple. We helped during the Iran crisis, so now you help us. If that sounds familiar, that's because Pakistan has been selling the same product for decades. During the Cold War, it sold itself as America's anti-Soviet ally. After 9/11, it became Washington's frontline partner in the war on terror, and now it wants to market itself as the Middle East's diplomatic middleman. The product Pakistan is selling changes, but the invoice never does. Here's something extraordinary. Pakistan has gone to the IMF 25 times. 25. At what point does a bailout stop being an emergency and actually becomes the be-all and the end-all of your economic policy? In 2023, for instance, Pakistan narrowly escaped sovereign default thanks to a $3 billion IMF package. Then came another IMF program. This was worth $7 billion. Inflation cooled, reserves improved, markets calmed. So success? Well, not really. Because those reserves weren't built by exports. They were built by borrowed money. Pakistan survives today because somebody is always willing to lend it dollars. The moment one lender wants repayment, Islamabad takes a torchlight and starts looking for another one. The weakness became clear in April. The UAE sought repayment of around $3.5 billion, which it had given out to Pakistan at some point. At that time, Pakistan's central bank reserves stood just at about $16.4 billion. The payment, of course, represented just a fifth of those holdings. Pakistan also faced a $1.3 billion Eurobond payment before the end of June. Together, these obligations created an immediate external financing squeeze. What happened then? Saudi Arabia stepped in with $3 billion in fresh support. Riyadh later rolled over that amount, preventing another sudden fall in Pakistan's reserves. Saudi's exposure reportedly rose as the UAE reduced its support. So this is how Pakistan's financial system works. One ally withdraws money, another replaces it. A loan matures, it is rolled over. A repayment deadline arrives, a new facility is requested. The crisis is postponed and postponed and postponed again, but the structure remains unchanged. The problem with Pakistan is not simply that it has debt. Many successful economies borrow. The problem is what Pakistan does, what it produces, what it exports, and what it taxes. Its export base remains very narrow. Textiles dominate foreign earnings. High-value manufacturing is limited. Energy imports drain dollars. Political instability scares away long-term investors. Pakistan also struggles to collect taxes from powerful groups. Large sections of retail, agriculture, and real estate remain very lightly taxed or poorly documented. Governments repeatedly squeeze the salaried workers or formal businesses because politically connected sectors like agriculture, for instance, resist reform. Then there is the energy sector. Electricity is generated at a very high cost. Bills are not fully recovered, subsidies accumulate, distribution companies lose power through theft and inefficiency, unpaid obligations produced circular debt. That comes to power in Pakistan, promises reform. Every government fears the political consequences. So Pakistan borrows to cover yesterday's failures and then creates tomorrow's liabilities. World Bank linked data shows that Pakistan's external debt is near $130 billion. This was 2024, with debt servicing consuming around 40% of export earnings. So 40% of what you earn, you are pushing to service your debts or pay back some part of your debt. Now that means a large part of what Pakistan earns abroad is used merely to repay what it borrowed earlier. Which brings us to the final irony. Pakistan has chosen to knock on the door of perhaps the most transactional American president in recent history. Trump has spent years telling allies to pay more for defense, pay more for, protecting you, pressing trading partners over tariffs, and arguing that America should not keep footing everyone else's bills. And now, Pakistan is asking him to foot another bill. If there's one person on earth who likes asking, what's in it for me, it's Donald Trump. So before Islamabad starts planning how to spend this $10 billion that it wants from Washington, it may first have to answer Trump's favorite question. What exactly am I going to get in return? Because one thing is certain, borrowing money is easy. Convincing Donald Trump to hand it over may be Pakistan's toughest negotiation yet. This is Times Access, where global stories meet India's perspective. Click on the bell icon to subscribe because the next big global shift will have India at its center.